be on the plaque. And that was about it. We didn't push anything beyond that, but that was the note. Anything else? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous? Opposed? Town council report, I did present to the town council a week or so ago. Went through the numbers and how we're doing at each of the schools, showed them the progress that we're making. I had a slideshow which they were very impressed with. Since the two buildings are very comparable right now in terms of where they are, what they're doing, I decided I'd mix up the pictures. So it wasn't, just here's North End, here's Norton. It was, here's what the library media looks like right now. Here's what the gyms look like. Here's what the outside brickwork looks like. They were very impressed, very pleased with what they saw, and really didn't have any serious questions at all. The only real question that came from the board, or the town council really, was one member was asking about the solar panel decision that we had made and where those would be. So I put the slides up and I showed them the map of the buildings and where those solar panels would be. But I also noted that that wasn't our project and that they needed to talk to Vin if they wanted more detail on where that's at and what the schedule is and all of that sort of thing. So I left it at that point. Right, next thing on the agenda, are there any questions on the town council report? Okay, next thing on the agenda, recommendation on the plaque, contents and design. I did run off some copies, probably not enough for all these people, but at least the committee members can grab one.
Yeah,
It's on one of Rich's emails, yeah.
Yes, I sent it to you electronically.
I was like, I think I saw it.
But I thought you might want to see it.
I'm just been dreaming about the plaque.
Stuff other than that?
No, you give me,
Oh, well, you got your stuff?
that's yours, that's right. You need one of each for the.
Oh, yeah, no, I just wanted you to have the Barnum ones, the same as the Norton, other than the heading.
I have it digitally, thank you.
Okay, so let me give you a quick history here. As you'll recall, last meeting, there was a short discussion about the plaques that are going to go in the entranceway to the schools. We set up a working group of myself, Sean and Jeff Solon, and then Vin also came into that group at times, to put something together and to bring to the committee. We met online for about an hour before Christmas and went through a variety of possibilities. We looked at the concept of doing something like Vin had sent us from the high school, which basically had just the town officials on it and didn't list other names. We looked at putting just our committee on the regular plaque, and then there was some discussion about having a community involvement, less formal plaque that would also go, which included other things. In the end, after we talked it back and forth, we ended up recommending that we be fairly open-ended in terms of putting all of the members of the committee, all of the members of the town council, including people who were on the council when the discussion on the buildings were approved, even if they no longer were on the council, and the same with the Board of Ed. And then for the Barnum School, we also had a photo and made in honor of Colonel Harvey Barnum, USMC Medal of Honor recipient, Cheshire High School class of 1958. So that's what the group came up with. We're putting that in front of you to get input. The timing is getting to the point, I think, where Tecton would like to get it at sooner rather than later, since there's some time delay. with this. There were a couple of changes on the one that I passed out to you. It was noted that Colonel Barnum is junior, so where it says Colonel Hardesty Barnum, it should say junior, SMC. It was recommended that we change under, that Timothy would be Tim Slocum, and that his title be former chair, and Anthony Perugini, former chair, and Deanna's name was misspelled, so we've made those, I've made those corrections. So what we need from you is, you know, your input as to whether this is the type of plaque you would like in the building, and also from this group, if your name is on there and we decide to keep these names on, is it the name that you want there? Do you want Christopher Daddy, or do you want Chris Daddy, whatever? So I'll open it up to the group for discussion.
What material would it be made out of?
This is done as a brass plaque that's, you know, put usually right in the entranceway to the school. We had some models that we showed last meeting. Sean had sent a couple, Vince sent one, I sent one.
You get the color picture on the brass plaque?
I don't know if it would end up being in color. Would the picture be in color on the brass plaque?
We had that question ourselves. I think it can be done, but it can either be color screened or embossed, which obviously would look different than what you're looking at here.
But all we had was a color picture, so that's what we put on. The other issue that somebody brought up is because Colonel Barnum's picture is there, and right underneath it says Superintendent of Schools. It looks like Jeff has suddenly gotten, you know, a uniform.
Oh, yeah.
So it was suggested that maybe when we talk to Tecton, that somehow that gets split off so that
Extend the
it's
line.
clear. Yeah, you could extend the line, do something so that it's clear that that's Colonel Barnum's picture, not Dr. Zolan.
Can I suggest a dormer?
A what?
A dormer? And then put the picture
Oh,
center, just like the Cheshire High School sign.
I went around and I looked at the signs at like the elementary schools that are there now. And my first thought when I saw this was, it felt like a homework assignment. That was like a group project where everybody's just trying to get their name on it and take credit for the project. And I don't like that, like at all. I don't like the way we have all these names written on there. For two things. One, I think it detracts from the namesake of the school at the top, which is, I don't think, right. But two, like anytime you list names, there's the risk you run of including people that, you know, maybe didn't have much involvement on it. They're in a position now where they're on a board or a council. But we're forgetting people that were like instrumental in this whole thing coming along. Like I've been dealing with the school and this whole project and stuff since like 2017, 2018, whatever it was, long before there was ever any committees. And I would like it to just have the Barnum Elementary School, the photo, maybe like a quote underneath it, and then just like a general thank you for everybody that put in the countless hours, like the school's made possible by, and just list, you know, the town council as general. Like, do we need every name on there? No, I don't think we do. The Board of Ed, School Modernization Committee, you know, and just run down the line. The Building Committee, obviously. The voters, you know, that approved the referendum. Just keep going down the line of everybody that was involved in it. Because I think when you put people out here, and we have these lists that's like, kind of like a sub-list where we're trying to include everybody, the way to include everybody is just list the groups that were involved from the beginning to now. From, you know, a scenario to a physical project coming out of the ground. I don't like the way it has like all the people named on there and everything. I think the intention was good. I'm not blaming anybody for the names or anything. I just, in general, when I see it, it doesn't hit me right with having individuals listed like that. And again, the school, if you look at the ones that are there now, like if you go into Chapman, I stopped by there on my way here, stopped by Norton, it just said this school is dedicated or named in honor of such and such, dedicated this day. And, you know, there's no list of people in there, so it didn't matter 60, 70 years ago when we built the school. I don't think it matters now, the people that are in government.
I respect what you're saying, and I just happen to think that it didn't matter at those particular places 60 years ago, because whenever I go into a school, because I've been on the design side of these, I always look at it, and I always, gee, do I know what it is? Who was the contract? Oh, they were, back then they were still doing this, oh, look at that, whatever. So I do look at it, and I do see the names and stuff, and I always look through to see if I recognize that, you know, there's some uncle or something, or, you know, or whatever, a neighbor, a familiar name, which I've bumped into a few times, and ask a neighbor, hey, was that, you know, that was my dad, or whatever, so I happen to like it for that reason. I don't think I would lose sleep either way.
I think when you do see the names though, what you don't see is the names of people that you might have missed that, you know, were part of the project long before. But you're not gonna notice them because they're not there.
No, but
And
saying,
that's not right.
but saying thank you to voters is, I mean, why say anything at all? I mean, you don't want to just say thank you, period.
I'm fine with not even putting them on there. I just have a problem with people on there that, you know, maybe don't belong on there. That came in the last 6 months when the project was already 6 years in progress. Versus, you know, people that may have been on there before. And just leaving the general, saying council members, board of ed, building committees, etc. And again, I think it does detract from like the name of the school, the namesake of the school, and I think it would be more impactful, I guess, if it had like a little quote or something of his or anything like that, and just a general message for it.
I did forward to you today, Don had sent me some quotes from Colonel Barnum, I forwarded that to you. I don't think we have anything comparable over in Norton. For Barnum at least, you could do a quote easily.
Yeah, it seems like if you did the dormer idea, you put the picture up, you could put a quote underneath it, and then if you wanted to keep everything the same, you could still put that, fit that up above.
Yeah, also worth pointing out, it's not the only, there will be display cases and other recognition that will be part of either the entrance area or dedicated areas, I think, in the future. So I don't think this is going to be obviously the only reference to him either. So I think you could supplement, you could have a separate standalone plaque or dedication thing that explains more and gives more of the history. I think that's doesn't necessarily have to be on the construction plaque.
And there was discussion about having a community appreciation, wouldn't be a brass plaque, but just a separate thing, and that had the school modernization committee on it, and just general things, you know, planning and zoning commission, all the different groups that had gone through as part of it. But it's up to this group. You gotta give me some feedback. I've heard from 2 people.
I also don't think your name should be removed for all the effort you put in, because there might be somebody else who just came on a few weeks ago. You know, I don't think, I think that works in the reverse of what you're trying to accomplish. You know, all the time Rich put in, or there's people here who put tons and tons of time in, and effort and things behind the scenes, and to pull their name off because of a couple of unknowns. I don't know that that's the reason to pull it out. That's just my 2 cents. I happen to like them, the concept, so you know, that's just my 2 cents. I like the concept of how.
I'm fine with all the names too. Like I said, it's only one of probably multiple plaques that'll be there, or multiple displays.
Other feedback? I'm sorry, Don.
I'm fine either way, I've seen the whole. But if we need the names, I'd like to make some suggestions.
Go for it.
Well, I think if we're listing people, Greg and Sarah should be more up, step up and actually have participation in the committee, as opposed to just being the rank and file.
Well, we put everyone in alphabetical order except for the chair.
Right.
So, you know, if you're gonna do that, you need to do it for the town council, you need to do it for...
Not necessarily, you can just say Gregory wasn't last year. secretary and move him up.
I don't mind either way, because I'm used to being at the end of the alphabet.
Yeah, and I'm fine just alphabetical, I mean, doesn't need a title, yeah, it's a nice
Just a
point, but
suggestion.
yeah.
My other comment was, if we have mayor, should we be honorable, be a tablet?
I don't know,
That's
Sean?
traditional.
I don't know that it should even be mayor, to be
Yeah, like,
honest.
do we have
Yeah,
a-
it's.
We don't have a
it's
mayor.
It's
Well, he's both chair of the town council and
well, he's,
No.
it's,
So we'll
the
listen to
charter
what-
says shall serve as mayor in, like a ceremonial capacity, so it's not
Oh.
mayor. So that's one I can certainly, you know, that's one we can make sense, so we need to, I can talk to Peter too and see what he.
Yeah.
doesn't.
see what he feels is appropriate.
I mean, it doesn't make sense that it's even broke out like that versus just being on Cheshire Town Council. He's
Yeah,
just
well,
the
it
chair of
wasn't-
the town council. The chair of the town council doesn't have anything over anybody else on the council.
Yeah, you could make the argument that you could remove it there, and just because you have it listed the second time.
And there was one version
Yeah.
that did not have Sean, Jeff Solon, or Peter at the top. They were just listed within the committees that they were on, and with their title. And that seemed to be kind of clunky, so we pulled it out and moved it up. This is like version, I don't know, 7 or something.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of them, and there's no, certainly no pride of authorship. A lot of these were looking at samples you find, like, image searching, you know, these construction flags for schools, and what did other towns have, so some have. You know, I think the point made by Chuck is a valid one for sure. There's certainly examples where they have these kind of expansive ones, where clearly they've had some, you know, pressure to include as many people as they could. And then there are some simpler ones. I think when they are simpler, you do see the town councils or maybe the Board of Education not on there. The school building committee would be on there typically, and then the contractors and the others. If I was, in my research of what the most pared down versions are, short of being pared down to just, you know, maybe a statement about the school.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any, correct way. I
Yeah,
read
it's-
recently, I think it was in Bridgeport, they had put up a plaque and they had the mayor's name and then the Board of Ed name, but not the committee members' names. And the committee people went crazy and they made them take it out and spend another $1,500 and put a new plaque up. So-
People can get, you know, strong.
So that's why I come into this saying.
I don't have strong feelings, but
Our
we're just trying to
group
present
put this in
something.
front of you, but it's, it's really a decision of this group as to what you want to recommend.
Yeah, one more thought on Norton, since we're actually providing a reason for the name for Barnum, would be to add a line that says Norton School.
I can't hear, I'm sorry.
We should have a little exclamation on the Norton flag as to who was named after.
Yeah, I had sent a note to Jeff Solon at one point. I don't have any history as to Norton School and.
I have it from a picture today. I know.
You said the farm, like the Norton
I don't know if it was.
It was named for Birdsey B. Norton, first selectman of Cheshire from 1930 to 1954. Dedicated November 18th, 1956.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
That's how simple a sign could be for a school.
Because I went on just did
I
a
was
search.
wondering if
and-
we were gonna rededicate the school, the new school anyhow. But do we do that?
There was a suggestion to actually move that flag
Yeah.
into the new building. I forget
That would be
who
good.
made that suggestion, but
That would be nice.
That would be.
that's pretty easy to do. Right, Justin?
Do we have a motion?
Give a movie.
Motion being what, to accept the current design?
To accept the current design, to put something, to have a different design. I'm just asking for a motion so we can move along here.
I move to accept the current design, with a few typo changes that Rich had mentioned.
Do we have a second?
I would add that, or do we want to wait for discussion?
For what?
Should I wait for us to go to discussion
You
before?
can second it.
I'll second it.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Okay, now, you have,
Yeah, I would say that, I like Dennis's idea of putting, if you made like a little dormer to put the picture so it stands out.
obviously, there needs to be some adjustments if you're gonna go with essentially this, I think, putting something for the Norton one on. So you're
So
you
what
would
are
be
we
approving
approving?
exactly that, you'd be approving that concept,
The
with
three
some
columns
adjustments to be
made.
made, yeah.
So we're approving the concept with a final to be presented for final vote?
We can do that if you'd like, if you want.
I think that makes sense. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think the feedback from tonight will be helpful for making a final or close to final draft.
And we'll work it, okay. So, it's been moved and seconded to accept this as a concept. We'll bring it back in February, after adjustments and changes have been made. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
They just said to us,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Opposed? 1, 6, 7. Did you vote?
Yes, I was in favor, sorry. We're just
You voted?
directing traffic.
Which way did you vote?
In favor.
In favor, okay. So 7-1. All right, we will bring it back next time.
We can move next door, Mr. Chairman, if you'd like.
I would
We're
very much,
available.
yeah. Yeah, let's do it over. Next on the agenda, 5C, discussion with Don Falk from the Veterans Advisory Committee regarding permanent display in honor of Colonel Barnum. Don?
Yes, I am here, thank you. My purpose is to talk about, it was mentioned here a little bit, how we might remember Barney within the school. A memorial, the library has a display case with some of his pictures, memorabilia, whatever. I thought I might just start, for those of you maybe not familiar, but Barney also has a destroyer with his name on it. This ship will be commissioned in April, tentatively April 11th. So he's going to have a busy year this year. He's going to have a ship commissioned in his name. He's already been on it and done some of the sea trials with it. And as excited he is over the ship, he's very excited about the school name. And he's looking forward to it. I sent a couple things to you, Rich, that one of them was mentioning Junior after his name. That's his official name. Some quotes I sent you that
I forwarded
might
that
be a,
to the committee today.
yeah,
I don't know if they had
might
a
be
chance to look
appropriate
at
at
it
some
or not.
point. Somebody mentioned maybe on the plaque, but that one about youth and the future of the country, if not there, someplace, in that, what we propose. I was over, Vince was very nice to take me for a walk through the school with my son Jeff, and caught the entrance unfinished, but you had mentioned, Vince, some areas there that might handle some tribute to Barney. I guess maybe that's one
Like
way
in
to
the
put
media
it.
center perhaps, would be, one potential place. I mean, it hasn't been decided, but, there's gonna be ongoing discussion about what it is, what memorabilia can we.
Yeah, I
get
don't
from
have any
Colonel
ideas of
Barnum.
design, but I'm just trying to see if we don't reserve a space or some, whether it's on the wall or another table. One of the things that's there in the library, and I'll send you a few pictures of what they have, but this is a Medal of Honor book that shows Barney. There's several versions of this book, but that would be, something we'd want to include. I did find, as I was searching through some things, Barney had apparently written this letter back in, I have trouble getting it out of here, but I got it. There's a couple copies that I can send down. Oops, I'm sorry. But he talks about growing up in Cheshire, the great education provided. I'll keep one copy and you guys can do with the rest. And how proud he is to say that he's from Cheshire, Connecticut.
I can scan this and send it out to them.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
You can share it.
So, you know, somewhere that gets included, you'll be able to find some pictures of Barney throughout the years. In that memorial case up in the library, there's one as a Boy Scout, one as a youth, one in high school. There's a picture of him with his rifle and hard head on, and before he had all the attention to him up there. So my son Jeff, his first thing was, and he goes big time, you know, but he said, how about a wax figure like Madame Tussauds, you know? And my son
If
is
it gets
the
too
one.
hot, it'll melt. I don't know.
Yeah. My son is the one that's also suggested the flag that hopefully we're still on course, Sean, to put up at the Bartlett Park, which will be the tallest flag in the state of Connecticut at 120 feet. And the flag itself will be 30 by 60. So we won't have a lot of contest about where the biggest flag is.
When you sent me the note, you said something about doing something around the flagpole of the school?
I don't know what part I sent. Some people had a suggestion of a concrete semi-surround with one of his quotes on it as a possibility. I was thinking, mentioned to somebody today, there is a Medal of Honor flag that I think I may have included in some of the pictures I sent. My first thought was, can we put another flagpole up to display that flag? And then I was reminded that we went through a battle a couple of years ago in town about what flags could be flown. So I don't want to get into that one, but maybe we can have, I can talk to Barney. Looks like those flags are for sale, not the type that he has, that he has in his home. But there is a Medal of Honor flag that maybe could be part of this. The Medal of Honor, the actual medal, would be another one. When I looked at your plaque rendition, his picture on one side, even the Medal of Honor on the other corner. Whether these can be in color or not would be significant. Understand too that if you do that, there are 3 versions of the medal. There's a Navy, Army, and I think it's the Air Force. So we want to be sure that we get the Navy medal in any representation that we do. You know, that's really about it. I'm just looking for space. We don't know exactly what. Barney
Well, as
may
you
have
know,
some
it's a big
stuff.
school.
Say again?
There's a big school, and there's a lot of spaces that need to get filled.
Yeah.
I'm not certain how we proceed from here. I'm wondering if it's something that some of the school people could potentially get involved
Yeah,
with.
I mean, I do think that that's the answer, because from the school building committee, you know, certainly the plaque, that's just part of, you know, what would be part of construction. You know, as far as if we're gonna have a showcase, you know, inside the media center, you know, I mean, that flag policy applies to flags flown outside our buildings, but that doesn't mean we can't have a Medal of Honor flag inside the building, you know, that letter, frame that letter. And if we dedicate, my point is, if we dedicate a space in the media center or any place else that really isn't a school building committee discussion or decision, that would be something that we would work with Don and Jeff Falk and the school superintendent.
Yeah, and that's what
So,
I was.
and that's why I say, we're gonna have some continuing discussion, you know, the plaque, you know, certainly that's something that, you know, is on the school building committee. But beyond that, you know, I think we can handle the rest.
So we can ask the school people to take a look at it as they, you know, I know they're already looking at, you know, some of the old buildings and things they want to bring over and put into the new school and things like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, for them to, the principal, some of the staff members that are going to be there to take a look at, you know, how this building is going to evolve.
Right. And certainly that, either a picture or artwork of the destroyer that's named after
Well,
Colonel Barton.
yeah, Jeff was trying to find another similar copy to this. I don't know, we got that at the time of the commissioning,
Yeah.
whatever, some of us were able to get it, but Jeff was trying to, you know, see if we get a few more. But, you know, the key thing is that people know about Barney, not only Barney, but the significance of the Medal of Honor. And it is referred to as the Medal of Honor. It's earned, not won. I sent a couple of things to you, Rich, from the Medal of Honor. It is the Congressional Medal of Honor Society, though, by an act of Congress that, runs a lot of the programs for the Medal of Honor recipients.
Yeah.
They
And
spend
it's
a lot of their
essential that we have something up there. We're looking down the line, the school's gonna be there for 30, 40, 50 years. And I would not want somebody walking in the door saying, why was it named, Barnum Elementary?
Mhm.
They should walk in the door and see something and say, here's why, here's, what
Yeah.
the meaning of this.
Yeah, and those of us that serve probably understand more, the significance of the medal and what Barney did. And
Oh,
Sorry.
very subtle, Sean, very subtle. But any of us also who were at
Doesn't win a medal.
the name, the speech that Barney gave there, it was very focused on children and honor and having kids grow up with a sense of, loyalty and, I think we
Yeah.
want to incorporate that.
he talks about integrity and understand when Medal of Honor recipients talk about courage. It's not the courage of going into battle, it's the courage of doing what's right. Integrity, mainly. When they refer to that, it's not how brave you are and what you did in battle. It's the moral courage is what they refer to. I would just say this too, that I saw with another Medal of Honor recipient, somebody referred to the 11 lives that he had saved. I think somewhere they talk about Barney taking care of saving 130 lives. It's not just the one life that was saved. They refer to it as the family tree. That the family afterwards was also
Right.
now living. So
Exactly.
that, as I say, there's a lot of little stuff, big stuff involved, and I know we're just getting started, but before you spend all the money, we want to make sure we got a little room there.
Okay, we're not spending all the money, but that's okay.
I'm trying hard to get them to spend a little more. It
You
doesn't
told
work.
me you would save some. You told me we could get some.
You're not getting ahead.
So what I would ask though is that anything that you come up with, if you can, whether it's even just take a picture of it and send it to us, anything like that, if you have something like this, take a picture, send it to us so that we can put together a file that we can ask the incoming principal and some of the staff members to take a look at the building and how they might put together
Sure.
a display, maybe more than one, it may be something in the entranceway, something in the library, we'll see, what comes about, but definitely
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
interested
we
in.
appreciate it. And I had intended to bring my granddaughter, I mentioned last minute, Haley Falk, Jeff's daughter. She's the one that actually started this. She went to the town council several years ago. She has a nonprofit called Because of the Brave that's supporting first responders, veterans, and all. She's quite active with it, and we're very proud of her, obviously. And I said, well, why don't you come in so I can embarrass you, Haley? But she's busy. She's now looking at police work. She wants to become a police officer, and apparently she's up in New Britain tonight doing some of the paperwork. So,
Yeah, I was at town council when she spoke, it's very
You were, yeah.
articulate.
yeah. So she doesn't like to speak or anything, but we help her out with that. But she and Barney and his wife Martha, whenever we visit with Barney, we see Haley for about 5 minutes, and she disappears with Martha off somewhere.
That's it.
2 hours later, it's time to go, and they break it up. But they've
Any
been very
comments or
instrumental.
questions from the committee? Don, thank you very much for everything that you do.
Yeah, thank
We're very
you.
appreciative.
This barcode,
Yeah.
these people,
Yeah.
they have it
See
on
what-
record.
Yeah,
Guarantee
okay.
they have it on file.
I'll let Jeff know. No, thank you very much for giving me a few minutes here, and
No,
we'll
Thanks for
continue.
coming.
So you can forward things to me, or you can forward them to Vince, either way.
Yeah.
And we'll accumulate those and make sure that there's some action on that as we move
Yeah,
forward.
all right, appreciate it.
Okay, thank
All
you,
right,
Don.
thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, you're very welcome.
Appreciate it.
It's so cool.
Okay. Discussion regarding playgrounds. Vin, do you know any, I mean, I do not, oh, is this?
Summer's here.
Are you Summer?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Yeah,
Let's switch spots.
all right. I hope I can answer any
I do.
questions.
Well-
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, let me do a very quick introduction. I don't know if everyone here was aware. Last month, Dr. Solon came into the meeting, and I guess he was hoping to bring Summer in at that meeting, but there was a conflict. And at that point, he said he had been approached by a parent who will be going to Barnum Elementary, whose child is in a wheelchair. And she was questioning accessibility to the playground for a wheelchair-bound student. We had some discussion about it. There was some discussion, I guess, about removing all of the wood chips. We used to call it 5R, I don't know if it's still called that, and replacing it with a poured surface, which I was told would cost as much as $300,000, and then needed to be replaced every 10 years, which sounds like might be beyond anything that we can do, but to have some conversation about if we do have children at either school who are in a wheelchair, who can't just easily transfer to some of the equipment that's there. As Justin had pointed out, much of the equipment is available for someone who can transfer, but some of the students are just in wheelchairs and cannot do that. So the question is, what, if anything, can we do? I know when I talked to Dr. Solon about a week or so ago, I had looked at some of the equipment, and there are some pieces that clearly would be quite appropriate for someone in a wheelchair if there was a path to get to them. So with that said, let me turn it over to Summer, and you can kind of lead us through this.
Yeah, sure. So we already have, at both schools, there's one playground that has the poured rubber surfacing, and then the other playground is wood chips. I think that decision was made probably because of cost. The advantages of the poured rubber is that it's unitary surfacing, so obviously it's much easier for a child with a mobility impairment or a mobility device, or a teacher for that matter, or any staff, to be able to get onto the site. Although wood chips are considered ADA compliant here in Connecticut, there's no question that for anyone with a mobility device, they can be very challenging. So the options for playground approved surfacing are wood chips, turf, poured rubber, or rubber tiles. The turf, rubber tiles, and poured rubber are all about the same cost. There's some different advantages. If you're in a city, for example, some people like the tiles because they're easier to replace. But for Cheshire, probably the poured rubber would be the ideal solution if you have a child with a mobility impairment. But there is a big cost associated with that. So I don't know if anyone has any questions about it.
What pieces of equipment specifically
Yep.
are being put up that somebody who is in a wheelchair could access?
Yep, so I'm just pulling up my drawings of the playground. Are you going to pictures?
Yeah, I was gonna pull, for the site now, I was gonna go to our drawings and pull up playgrounds.
Sure,
I have
yeah,
it.
that's helpful. So starting with Barnum, there is a universal carousel, so that's something a child with a mobility device can get right onto. It is in the playground for the younger students. There also are playthroughs. All of the equipment is designed to support all children, and so a child with a mobility impairment might not be able to. It depends on how capable they are, but some can transfer out of the equipment and use a transfer platform that's on the larger structures to get up the steps and go down the slide. There's sensory play. There's a universal seesaw that again requires transferring out of your chair or from your device, but that has a large center platform. That's a very inclusive structure. There's a playhouse that people can that children can interact with. There's a lot of social components there.
I have it up to some.
Oh, thank you so much.
This is the Norton School.
Yeah, this is Norton. So they have the same universal carousel here. This swing is very inclusive, the basket swing. Even the net climbers can be very inclusive structures because they require upper body strength. Again, it depends on the capabilities of each specific child. But every playground was designed with the idea of inclusion incorporated into the site, whether it be having sensory play, different types of play, and also just recognizing there's a full upright ADA support seat that's on the swing set. Yeah, it's,
On the right side?
yeah, thank you, it's, if you go down, and that's what that is. And then there's sensory play. This climber has an opportunity, again, it depends on the child, but potentially they can be part of the play there. And then those are musical instruments down at the bottom,
Yeah,
and then,
that caught my attention right away.
Yeah.
That even if someone was in a wheelchair, that was something that clearly they could play.
yep. We did I talked to Jeff as well about, regarding like adding additional play panels, but everything has a price on it, and so it's really up to this group what you're comfortable with. But the biggest impact would be changing your surfacing over to the poured rubber.
Is it possible to, rather than make the entire thing poured rubber, to make walkways
Yes,
that would go to the equipment that a wheelchair could go on?
yes,
And I assume that would be substantially less expensive?
yeah. That's an option. If you're going that route, it would be helpful to have. So there's a lot of places where you could potentially add rubber. You could do it in a small area, so that you have it on your sensory components. You have rubber going to that ADA full upright seat, for example. On the other, if you don't mind, could you go to Barnum as well?
Sure.
Thank you. So you can have it going to that seesaw, or at least a portion of that seesaw. So if a child was transferring out of their seat, you need to make sure that you have enough space for them to park their wheelchair and get out. All of those things are considered, and we can create rubber paths. There's like 1,000 different ways you can get to this. I need a better idea from this group of what number you're comfortable with. I think, have you seen the numbers for switching over the entire site?
Well, was that the 300,000
Yes.
that I threw out? Yeah. Yeah, that's,
So,
well, we have never discussed it, but in my
Yeah.
mind, that's way beyond anything
Yeah.
that I'd be comfortable with.
and then the next question is, do you wanna do this at both schools, or are you looking to do this just at, at Barnum for the time being? I will tell you, it's much more challenging once you put in wood chips to then come back and pull those out and bring up the stone and pour the rubber at a later date. It's easier to do it now when you have the site open.
Do we have accessibility at the other elementary schools? Or are they all wood chips?
I'm thinking that
Wood chips.
they're all wood chips.
Everything is wood chips?
Yeah. The only place that in town that has that poured rubber is at Bartlett, I
At
believe. Yeah. Schools are all wood chips.
Has that been replaced yet
Where?
at Bartlett?
In places, but there was a large section over by the climber that actually had to be replaced with wood chips, just because of the cost. So it was an accessible style wood chip, but it's still.
And there are some places that are breaking up.
Yeah, and
broken.
it is very hard to piecemeal fix those. So it's a large, future item to replace all of those.
And is that the same type of surface that we're talking about for these?
Is it bonded rubber, or what is it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was designed, it was purpose built as
You
a
bounce on
boundless
it when you
playground.
walk.
Yes, that's how this is.
So I think that goes to what Rich had brought up at the last meeting, is what you're saying with Bartlett. Rich, you said even if we can afford it now, it's just gonna go to crap in 10 years because there's no budget to put another 300 or with inflation $400,000 or $500,000 to replace it.
Yeah,
That's the concern I have in doing
I
all
think
of the
that's real.
playgrounds at both schools, I do feel that, it's quite possible you're gonna have children in wheelchairs in either of the schools, and that we ought to be accommodating that. And having dealt with wheelchair students in the past, I know how easily they feel isolated.
Well-
And so I would very much like to see, and maybe it's something that we have to have, Dr. Solon get together with some staff people and you, come back to us with a proposal where we're just making some pathways to some pieces of equipment at both schools so that it's accessible.
Aren't these things accounted for by them being ADA compliant and being to a code and a standard already? I mean,
So
that's
there-
what the whole thing's built to, right?
Yes, so just to let you know, we have Massachusetts, obviously close to us. They did have folks that brought it to court, the ADA accessibility of the wood chips, and won. And so there was big regulation change in Massachusetts that they were required to have a unitary surfacing there. And so it is, I'm telling you that, not to scare you one way or the other, but just to make you aware that it is something that is very much being highlighted right now, and there is a possibility of that changing in the future.
And if you've ever tried to push a wheelchair on those wood chips, it's very difficult. The little wheels in the front tend to get caught, the whole thing pushes. So, I mean, you have students with various needs. You may have students who are in a wheelchair part of the day, but can get up, can walk, can move, can go to a piece of equipment. You have students who don't have that ability at all. So,
And staff, potentially.
well, that's a possibility also, yeah.
The equipment is compliant for transfer, correct?
Yes,
So realistically, the only thing we're talking about, not to minimize it, is for students that are in a wheelchair that cannot transfer.
correct. No, because even if they can transfer, they still have to get to that component,
No,
that
I get
structure.
that, but from
Yeah.
a regulatory standpoint, the wood chips work.
Yes. The site is compliant as it's designed.
Right.
But most of the equipment does require transferring onto it. It's not, if you go to some playgrounds, for instance, they may have a big seesaw kind of thing that a wheelchair rolls right up
No,
onto
no,
it.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to understand
Yeah.
what it is that we're
Yeah.
discussing and accommodating. So, are we proposing to also change the equipment?
It's bought, it's put up.
Okay, so if we're not changing the equipment to change to non-transfer,
I see two possibilities. One is that you put some kind of pads down so that you can get two pieces of equipment. There are some things like the music pieces, which clearly, even from a wheelchair, somebody could play with. I don't know that we would want to take a look at buying additional equipment to add to it, but I mean, I suppose that's a possibility.
yeah, I'm just looking at the plan, there's not a lot of room for additional equipment.
Yeah, most of the equipment is in.
Right.
You can go and see it, but
I will add, the wood chip surfacing does require that it decomposes naturally over time, and so every year there is a certain spend that the school is dedicating towards making those sites be compliant. There are advantages to the poured rubber. If a child gets hurt at all, the first thing that they're gonna look at is the depth of your surfacing, and so it does require raking. It should be done really at the end of every day, particularly around spinners or in swing areas that get carved out. So that is all eliminated with the surfacing, but the wood chip surfacing is significantly less. There's no, you know,
yeah, under the swings usually have a
Yes.
3-foot hole.
yes, you can't let that happen. It's really critical that that gets very well
Some of
maintained.
my best memories of falling off a swing.
I would be very much in support of adding the pathways to equipment, but I'm having a really hard time understanding what the scale would be of that cost compared to the 300,000. Because if it's like it costs 75% of the full to do the paths,
Right.
you know, I don't know that we should go down it, because I just don't think it's sustainable. But I also wanna say that I feel strongly that if we do this at Barnum, we should do it at Norton as well. Because I don't think we should be prioritizing one school over the other if we're gonna move forward. We just had the whole conversation about, interior stuff, right, and having it be.
And I don't know that you have to have paths to every piece of equipment. You need to have, you know, accessibility for those pieces of equipment that a child in a wheelchair would most need to,
Yeah, like what are the
would
farthest
be
from
most
the path?
appropriate for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where
so
we get the best
Tell them what
benefit.
just
they
to
can't
show
play
you,
with?
like, we would wanna put, poured rubber near this, hammock swing here, you would want it near this basket swing in the center, around this tippy carousel, and then at the transfer as well as the exit of the slide, and then a path at least to the exit, to the walkway. So,
Nice.
Summer, if you were, sorry, Mr. Chair,
No,
may
go
I ask
ahead,
a question?
go ahead, Justin.
If you were looking to have pathways within a field of mulch, would it make more sense to go the pad route, the kind of portable pads?
so there's two things, and one that I didn't bring up here that you're reminding me. There also is a solution that's being sold currently in Connecticut, the gentleman resides here, that is putting, they look almost like restaurant mats. They have been approved through IPEMA on top of wood chips. They're zip tied together, and they give somewhat of a path. Yes, I agree.
He was making the face at me, like, how would you, why would you?
They're not
Was
attractive,
there
but it
editorial
is.
decisions?
I didn't say a thing.
It's not something when you're creating a new school that I would necessarily suggest, because it's more so a solution if you need a quick fix for suddenly there's a child in the school who wasn't accounted for, and you put it on top of the wood chips. Over time, as the wood chips decompose, those mats do not sit entirely flat. But I just wanna make sure I'm sharing with you all the information I have so that you can make the best decision for the school. There are tiles that you could potentially use. However, being that the site is not, and the equipment as well, is not a perfect rectangle, I wouldn't recommend doing that. Also, there is, the other reason why you're gonna need to, if you you're gonna need to really maintain your site even more when you have PIP paths, rubber paths. Excuse me, when I say PIP, I'm referring to poured in place rubber. Because as they get covered, they're going to need to be swept off frequently. They also, if the wood chips are not well maintained, they can create a tripping hazard throughout your site. So just something else to consider about putting in rubber paths.
Then I'm gonna throw this to you for a second, because obviously there's a lot of maintenance issues here. And I know you've talked to Jeff Solon about, you know, the educational piece. So give us your wisdom.
Well, I guess a couple of things, you know, on the maintenance side, we still have to go in every year and add to those wood chips, right? So there's an annual cost, it might be $5,000 per school, so that, there is a maintenance piece even with the engineered wood fiber. And I just sent, while I'm talking here, I sent Cole a picture of that, the tile
Oh,
that you could put over. Jeff and I went and visited one of the schools, so I asked Cole if he could just open that, you
Oh,
can see it as we're talking. You know, I get it that we, you know, have one playground that is, you know, poured in place rubber, which that will work well. And there is a large cost to doing the full rubber on the other playgrounds. You know, Jeff asked to bring it to the committee for consideration. I think from a compliance point of view, we have no issues. This is, you know, do we just go one step past compliance? I do like the idea of maybe doing some kind of a hybrid where we can make, you know, certain pieces of equipment accessible by installing some rubber. If there's a way to do that that makes sense, that maybe is a more reasonable number. So, you know, I mean, my thought is take this offline, have a discussion with Jeff, Summer, and, come back with something more modest, if the committee is willing
Is open to it.
to hear that.
Is there a poured playground at both schools or just at Barnum?
At both schools.
At both schools, okay. I thought it was just because of the preschool. Okay. So there is accessibility in one playground area.
Yeah, the challenge is that certain grades are using one playground and the upper grades are using the other, so that's,
But they don't have to.
yeah.
Native.
Well, one of them, at one of the schools, it is a 2 to 5 preschool playground. So the equipment is designed for younger children.
And that's the one that has the poured area. So it's just-
Correct,
so it's meant just for the preschool program.
yes.
So you're not gonna put a 4th or 5th grade student in a wheelchair with that equipment.
Correct.
And what about the other one?
It's the
Little
same.
Norton.
The other one is still for the younger students, but it's 5 to 12.
Okay.
Hey, Rich,
Yeah.
just a thought, any discussions offline with, whether Jeff or whoever about what seems to make sense? I believe we're supposed to be designing something that's supposed to last at least 20 years. So if we could roll in a discussion of whatever the replacement cost might be, if it's right now, figure out some sort of an inflation level and make sure that that's something that could be done. Because I thought last time this came up, I could be wrong, but I thought Jeff was like 300,000, we don't have that. So
That's what he said.
for us to put in something that, under ideal perfect conditions, lasts 10 years,
That's right, yeah.
which means we're gonna be at 7, right? Or, I mean, with our weather, we're not ideal perfect. So who's to say it's gonna go that far? And then to have it not be able to be maintained and fall apart, we're not even close to that 20-year useful life.
And that is an issue. You saw what happened with the football field this past referendum. That's more than 10 years old. That was defeated. And they needed close to $1 million, I guess, to redo that. So all these things look wonderful when you put them in, but if you're not gonna maintain them down the line, you're gonna be in a pickle.
Well, if I can also add too, I think, you're talking about pathways. If you're doing pathways, you're gonna have more edges. And with more edges, there's more likelihood that it's gonna start to fray.
Yes. That's a very good point, and that, I was trying to get to that with the maintenance. If you're going to do it with a new school, you might wanna consider just doing the entire site for that reason.
I would like to get feel from the committee. We actually have, a couple of options in front of us. One is to say, look, what we designed is it. That's fine, let's stick with it. The other is to say, let's have Summer sit down with Dr. Sullivan, Vince, and whoever else they want, come back to us with a proposal and cost estimates at our next meeting. What would you like to do?
I would like to stick with it the way it is, wood chips. Meets the standard.
I think, we currently meet the requirements. Unless Tectec comes up with a very reasonable way to basically achieve a path to pieces of equipment that are workable for persons who cannot transfer. I'm okay with the way we show it.
Other comments?
Just a question, on the drawing there, you have sort of a outline around all the pieces of equipment. Is that like areas that can't be, say, concrete?
It's the fall zone.
So that can't be super soft?
I would advise against having concrete near fall zone. So,
It has to be playground surfacing
Yeah.
within those spaces. So, I mean, you could, sure, have concrete here, but wood chips are,
That's
yeah.
fine. I understand, just, I haven't heard it discussed and just,
so within that fall zone, and sorry, Summer, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Within that fall zone, based on the play apparatus that is there and the height of a potential fall, that dictates what the depth of the surface is below.
is there another sounds like the only granular product is wood chips. Is there some other product that offers more rigidity but still has the rubber chips instead of wood chips? Or,
Yes.
for instance, I don't know.
There are rubber mulch. I would strongly recommend against it. Environmentally, it's very bad. It spreads, and so it's very hard to contain when we talk about from a maintenance perspective. It's
I don't
just-
think
it's
it'd be
not- and
any
it's-
easier to push a wheelchair on
No,
that than.
no, of course not. And it also is, I
I'm
rarely
just,
put it in. Yeah, it's a fair
you're
question.
the expert, not me. I'm asking if there's another granular product. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to defend something that I don't know if it even exists.
So it does exist, but we very rarely, if ever, sell it
So
because
it's
of
not an
those
option,
reasons.
is what you're saying. That's all. That's
It's
fine.
not a good one for
Okay.
you.
Justin, have you run into this at any other schools, or is this?
Every school?
Every school, because frankly, your port and play surfacing costs more than your play equipment, in almost every playground that we do. So we've done, Compan, Summers Company, did a playscape, 2 playscapes at a student support services, facility in New London, Connecticut. Due to the nature of the student population there, almost all students with disabilities, it was a non-starter to choose anything other than port and play surfacing. For most of our projects, it's usually one of those discussions where you provide port and place where you can, engineered wood fiber elsewhere. If frankly, it's usually entirely predicated on what the budget and available budget is on the project.
So I heard a couple of comments regarding, let's stick with the plan as it is. Any other feedback?
I guess I tend to agree, sorry. I guess I sort of see it as perhaps bigger issues. We are talking about parity between the 2 schools, but there are also 2 other elementary schools. I think I was just confirming with them, but Highland School is probably our school that has the most kids with support services, needed there, and I guess I'm a little uncomfortable that maybe we need to be making more of these kind of improvements in our 2 existing schools. I know that's not the purview of this committee, but I'm just trying to think of where the dollars are going, where they're the most effective, and I guess part of me wonders if we might want to look at revamping some of these schools that I guarantee you are not going to be near the accessible nature of these 2 new schools, just by the mere fact that they're more modern and the equipment is more modern. I think we might need to be investing in all, maybe coming up with a plan with all 4 elementary schools in the future or something. But I tend to agree that I think the way it's designed, if it's compliant and we're not in any risk of that I'm supportive of the way it is now. I share I like the path idea, but I do share some of that concern of how do you really do that and make that sustainable down the line too, that it's not going to falter, but not an expert.
Yeah, well, once Rich said that they were more likely to decompose, that kind of swayed me to write with that statement.
All right, again, I think you have your answer. We're gonna stick with what we have and
Is
take
that-
it from there.
I do have a question. Is that the final answer? Because we are installed and this is all happening in the spring. So my project managers, what's the updates? Meeting tonight. Final answer?
You wanna vote?
For right now.
Final answer.
I mean, I would also say though, if I may, and I said this 3 years ago, come near the end of the project, if there's a large contingency left, which there may not be, we could revisit playground equipment. So,
It's always a possibility, but.
for right now.
These guys are ordering and doing things, so, okay, so do we want a formal vote then? All those, Greg, if you would make a motion for us?
I move that we maintain the wood chip playground in the form that's been previously approved without modification.
Second?
Second.
Second? What was that, Dennis?
Yeah.
Okay, discussion? All those in favor? Okay, it's unanimous.
Thank you.
You have your answer.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
be living in Westport.
Discussion of possible action on fire alarm upgrade.
The visual panel, right? Which is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So after the last meeting, where the committee decided that they did not want to see that elaborate display panel, we, first of all, I think Ryan Benoit said that he would also see if he can get a better price from the contractors, and he's still working on that price. I think the holidays kind of pushed everything back for a lot of people. But I reached out to Rich Clavette, and I talked to him about what it is that they're looking to achieve with that visual display panel. And what he said is he really wants to make sure that the fire department, the volunteers, when they show up to a fire in the middle of the night, that they can have some sort of an orientation map or something like that, which shows what's going on, where the fire or where the alarm is coming from. So, which you currently don't have. What you do have at the middle schools is something that's a lot simpler, and Rich sent me a specification for that, so we do have that. We did share that with ONG, and we'll get a price for that in addition to maybe the alternate price for that more elaborate system. Rich also did say, he said, the price, he thought the price that I mentioned from the vendor was also on the high side, but he also thought that vendor was probably pricing a lot of programming into it that is not going to be needed. What they're looking for is just kind of a visual display. What they wanted to get was something that was a visual display on something like a small flat screen TV that was all digital. But if need be, they can go to this more simpler system, which is kind of like the way it was described to me is it was like a silk screen of the plan with lights that would indicate where
That's what my old school had. When you walked in, you
Yeah,
saw a
so-
little light bulb had gone on, and you knew there's a problem in the media center.
Yeah.
You could see it on
So
the plan.
we're working on both of those, and we're trying to get alternate prices that we can bring back to the building
All right,
committee.
so there's nothing for tonight then?
No, there's nothing.
Okay.
It's an addressable system, so the display is gonna say smoke alarm, media center.
Yeah, but I think, Chris, what they were looking for was kind of like a floor plan that they can say, okay, so where is the media center?
I'd sent it, I have a picture of what we have at Dodd, just so you could see it. I'd send it to Coke, but he's not getting my stuff. So this is the middle school, and you could see that's the floor plan. This is the fire panel, and you could see at each zone, there's a little, black spot, but that's where it would light up. So it's kind of,
So when you walk in the door, you quickly look, you say that's where the issue is.
Straight
You head
take
down
right.
that part of the building.
and again, volunteer fire department, they're not in the buildings all the time. Same thing even with the police. They go into the building, they could see, oh, it's down this hallway. It just makes it simpler, I think, is the goal.
Well, it
for the
makes sense,
fire
but it
department.
sounds like the one that was showed to us at last meeting has a lot more bells and whistles than we need.
It certainly does, yeah. And the vendor did confess that that's usually installed in kind of a larger, more elaborate type of setting, like at a resort or something like that. It's got multiple buildings, so that's something that I think you need in an elementary school.
Okay. All right, so you'll bring us something next time.
Yeah.
Much less expensive.
I don't get it.
Do we need like something next time?
I
Is that
don't,
what we're telling them?
What's that?
It sounds like we don't need anything.
I don't know that we need it. I mean, we have approvals, but you were saying the fire marshal.
Fire chief.
The fire chief had expressed a desire to have this. Now, as I read his note, this is something I'd like to have if it's possible. I didn't see that he said, this is essential, or I absolutely have to have this, or,
No, I don't think I think he said, when I toured the high school and the middle school with him, he goes, all I want to do is to present it to the committee and, and see what their thoughts are on this. So, he wasn't pushing for it, but
So we may not approve it, but if they bring us something next month, said here's what it would entail, here's how much it would cost, at least we can make the decision and get back to the fire chief on that. Okay?
And then
That's
Rich.
fine. I'd be fine saving anybody else time between now and then and just saying we didn't need it now. I think we have enough to say that. That's me.
I would second the motion on that. I don't, personally, we have an addressable system. We are fully sprinklered, so any room that's engaged in flame is gonna have a sprinkler pouring water out on it, so you're not gonna have anything blasting. And we're talking when the school is completely unoccupied, because when the school is occupied, there should be an adult at the front door saying, come with me, and bring you up. So I don't see the urgency, whereas I would maybe in a hotel. Where there might be people sleeping, residents, so on and so forth, a hospital, a healthcare facility. This, you know, you're either gonna have attending people that can escort you, or a totally vacant building that's fully sprinklered that should have water flowing if there's a problem.
Then what do our elementary schools have now?
Well, you talking
Yeah.
about
Not these, the other two elementary schools.
basic system, but, you know, we're gonna replace the high school one, we just got approval to do that, and we're gonna do the same thing that we did at Dodd. I mean, that is what the preference is. We think it's a good addition, and I know the fire chief's asking for this, but, I mean, I think it's worth getting a price.
Yeah, I think getting your price, because maybe beyond fire, you know, it does carbon monoxide, which maybe wouldn't be as apparent. You know, if the silk screen with the lights is relatively inexpensive, it may be worth it.
Yeah, I
Do
Certainly
we
like to
have-
see the price.
To that point, do we have any fossil fuel burning equipment here?
No.
So we don't have,
Carbon monoxide.
nor do we have carbon monoxide detectors. So, I'm just saying, that would be a great point, but we're not gonna have a building that overnight fills up with carbon monoxide as people walk in.
But regardless, the experts at fighting fires have asked us to look into it, and I would like to do that, at least to get a price, because if it is like a quarter of, you know, if it's a very small amount and the people who fight the fires are asking us for it, I feel like it's a no-brainer. Like, fire code and fire things are written in blood, so.
And we comply with that.
Yeah, I know, but like, okay, but like, if something happened at that school, do we wanna be the people who are like, yeah, we didn't get it, it was a little bit too expensive, and now there was a fire,
What are
and
you
like something
suggesting is
happened.
gonna happen that we
I-
wouldn't cover?
Who knows? But like, we can't tell the
Well, we do know
future,
They're
right?
gonna have a false alarm there and they're gonna wanna know where to go. The building's gonna be empty.
I just don't wanna fight with the fire department, like, they're coming
It's
out,
not a fight, it's a simple no.
I
It's
want
a
the, I
code
want the
that they have.
pricing.
We did everything to the code and we don't need to do it.
Wanna make a motion?
I make a motion that we move on and don't get any pricing for any additional upgrade to the fire system at either school.
Do we have a second?
I'd second that.
You second that? Any other discussion?
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be okay with getting a price, we can always say no at the next meeting.
So wait, Chuck moved to proceed without getting a price, correct?
Right.
Okay, moves to
Keep the
proceed
present plan without.
getting
Chris-
a price. And,
Chris
sorry, Chris,
seconded.
yeah, Chris.
Just a second, yeah.
I got you guys flipped, sorry.
So if we get a price, it's not committing to anything, so a no just means give us a price.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion? 2. All those opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Go ahead. We'll at least get a price and we'll try again next meeting.
I mean, if the new thing is $500, it's probably not that big a deal. Right now, we're at 50,000.
Exactly.
All right, moving along. CM at risk, monthly progress report, Barnum Elementary. Dave, you're up.
Okay. Mind it?
We could do $500 for the city.
Yes.
Alright, we're just gonna do a little switch of group here. I'm not the most tech savvy, but I think I have this figured out. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Alright. It's not my backyard,
I'm gonna
but.
watch drafts.
So I will, if you can hand some of these down, this is kind of the quick highlights.
First round picks for one.
I think we have this one already.
I have Norton and then North End just passed out.
Oh, I'm passing out Barnum right now. You might have Norton already.
Yeah, but we've never liked the two names so similar, but. And just so you're aware, I do send the electronic version of this out to the committee I went out yesterday, so I don't know if they had a chance to look at it, but got all the pictures and everything else. It's on there.
No paper cut.
That's not good, yep, that's not.
Okay, so I guess we can go through the financials real quick. When you look at the summary data, the completion dates really haven't changed from the original to the current. We're still holding within a few days of what the original was. The substantial completion date is still holding at mid-July, and we're making good strides on the project. It's going very well. Finishes are going in one of the buildings, Building B, and we're pushing hard to just keep moving forward throughout the rest of the building and try to bring in the completion date a little bit earlier. Sorry, everybody, just a lot of cords over here. Down into the financials, we still have a very strong allowance and contingency plan in place. The construction budget, you will see the potential budget revisions. There was a big jump from last month to the current month right now, but that's with the $365,000 Ford Place playground surface. So now that that's off the table, the number will be going the other way.
Oh, you had included that as a
Yes, that's
potential.
like, that's in the potential. Are there any questions about the budget, financials?
Yeah, one of the things I was glad to see when I walked through is the surge in the preschool Building A.
Yep.
That's really starting to move, since, we want to see if we can get the classrooms all done at a time when the teachers can start getting in there and setting up class spaces.
Sure. Today was a great tour with these current future teachers and town leaders.
All the school principals and other administrators went to both buildings today.
So and then today, using the open space. So this is the kindergarten preschool wing. This is the main corridor coming in from the south entrance. And a lot of the drywall hasn't gone up in the hallway, but in the classrooms, the administrative wings and pre-K areas. I'm just trying to move around quickly to show you just the progress. So here's another classroom, a little dark, but it's coming together very fast in Building A, the pre-K. One thing I'm really excited about is in the cafeteria. I'm going to move a little fast. If there's specific areas people want to see, I just want to kind of do the highlights, and then Colt has time. The cafeteria is really coming together. The walls are painted, the beams are getting painted, windows are going in, and it's really brightening up nice and bright. And then here's looking into the shared stage between the gym and the cafeteria. And it's just coming together really, really nice. And then moving forward, I like to go up to the second floor. I think this is the upper floor. Where am I in D? Yes, I'm in D here. To show you some of the classrooms. They're really, alright, this is a little tricky, please forgive me. You can see ceiling grids in, walls are painted, floors down. We're getting to the point where a few weeks away from casework showing up, windows are in. It's flowing like this halfway down the hallway in D. We're gonna go towards the catwalk, move into C. And in the catwalk that connects the two buildings, it's gonna be a nice bright connector between the two. Moving into C, second floor, ceiling grids up, flooring isn't down in classrooms because, well, whoops, that's the stairwell. Ceiling grids up, walls are painted, windows aren't in here, but they're going in at C. throughout the rest of the building. In a few weeks, the flooring will be going down in here, and getting down to the first floors.
How much of the brickwork is done at this point?
Probably 95%, maybe even more. Actually, I think all the brick is done, and it's just a few more days of the stonework.
I showed more of the stonework because I mean, it's just so beautiful. In the front of the building, you've got that one big section.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. Town council got more.
Does anyone want to see the front of this school? That was, well, I mean, here we are inside. There's the stonework there. I'm gonna try to find the area.
Yeah, there's that area to the right.
Over here, or
It's right around the corner. I don't know where you are right there.
right now, this is the kindergarten.
You're on the north side?
Correct. No, south side. I'm on the south side. Main entrance is here.
That's the south end of the north end.
Here's the gym area.
Yeah, so if you go just beyond the gym,
Right in here. Actually, well, it's
no,
underneath.
it's on the other side, it's all stone, all the stonework. Yeah, no, you're going the other way, you're going towards A building.
Yep. There's a lot of trying to figure out.
So that section to the right here.
Unfortunately, there is a lull that this is all stone in here. And this is the cafeteria we were just looking at.
And then the metal panels go above that.
Metal panels all go up in here. Anything you see in blue becomes the metal panels. And they're already starting to put up the ziggurats for the gymnasium. Is there any other part of the school anyone wants to see that hasn't seen in a while?
Okay, thank you very much, Dave.
Anything else from North, or?
No, I think we're all set. Any other questions? No, we're okay.
Well, while we're here, well, I don't know if you're getting, how are we on open items being caught up and addressed quick and everything?
I know you sent a note that Rich forwarded me, the open item of the photograph spot. I need to report back to you. Frankly, I haven't.
It's not,
I haven't
forgive
chased
me,
it.
forgive me, no, that's not what I was asking. Field
reports.
Field report open items that your design team has come up with. Remember, there was an issue a while back.
Yep,
so-
we're holding the subject of every OAC meeting. We go through any open items and responses. ONG has been providing responses to the field reports, and we've instituted the policy. If there's something that's significant when one of us or our consultants are on site, we go to the trailer and we say this is gonna be in the field report, make sure that you're aware of it, it's coming down the pipe.
As I looked at the field report, there were still a lot of items that it said waiting for contractor to give some input or something.
It may have been an old report, Rich.
Maybe, I
Yeah,
don't know.
we've
Some
been-
of those, were items that had been out there since August. And it was month after month after month, and the last one didn't say, it's done. It said, we're still waiting for something from the subs.
So some of those for North, there were parts and materials that had to be ordered, and it took time to come in. I'm not sure why notes didn't get updated in the reports. It's probably just easier, just waiting,
Yeah, I mean, these were field reports from Tecton or from Coleman Road.
Yep, yes.
Yes,
And a lot of them have been chipped away and closed out. And Justin and I, and Allison, at least for North, we do have dialogue back and forth on some of the challenging issues that are found, and we work our way through it.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about one of them tonight in the PCO review.
Okay.
And that's something we talk about at the North End Project. Just, once again, my name's Colts. Thank you for having me, members of the committee. We bring that up on a weekly basis in our foreman meetings. Anything over 3 weeks has to be addressed. We usually pull in the trade, as well as our executives talk about it. We also mention the foreman's meetings, all the items that are new, and we need responses for them on a weekly basis. We've been making sure at the end of each week we have responses for each open item that's new. So between myself, my team, obviously I'm sure the North End's following the same process, but we want to make sure even if we can't close out these items, we have a response to them. and a date when it's going to be completed, or a sequence of when it's going to be completed. For example, some items can't be repaired until fixtures are in, so we make sure that's noted. So even if it's not a time frame, it's, you know, when the sequence will be done. So that's something we've worked on a weekly basis with both teams. Just want to make sure there's no items that say waiting for a response that was unacceptable in my eyes, and that's something we have corrected since.
Well, that was an area of concern that the committee had
Absolutely.
noted a while back, that some of these items, month after month, were showing up and they didn't seem to be getting, fulfilled.
Very valid concern, absolutely, and something we have been working on. As far as going into the Norton update, just want to mention that
Before
today,
we do that, just so I can follow up, Justin, you're okay with the new process and procedure, and
Yes.
you're happy with the responses and whatnot?
Yep.
That's all I need to hear. Thank you.
so as of today, we had our 4th of 8 ONG build sessions at the school with a class of 6th graders, 32 6th graders. Today's presentation was the design team as well as the engineers. They did a fantastic job. The kids were really engaged, asked a lot of great questions, as we knew they would be. They also gave out some clipboards with kind of a look for these items in the field for the walkthrough, kind of an I Spy game, if you will. So the kids really enjoyed that, and we enjoyed the ONG Builds program at the Norton School, and those pictures will be up by the end of the week. We'll have great pictures of the design team's presentation as well as the walkthrough with the kids. Very, very happy with that. Just to go over generalities on what's going on the Norton site, percentages wise. So roofing, we are 98% complete. Drywall, 93% complete, and this is throughout the entire building. Windows, 95% complete. Metal and composite panels, 50% complete. Brick, 98% complete. The only area of brick as well as stone that needs to be completed is that main entry, the canopy. And I'm sorry, apologies. When we're in the green room, pass these out. Pass those down. Electrical, we're 75% complete throughout the whole building. Plumbing, 70%, and then heating and cooling, 70%. We are anticipating to be energized with Eversource in February. As of right now, there are no major issues that would really impede that. We are working with the Phase 1 contractor as well as Phase 2 and the manufacturer to get a couple items that are still out there. But we see no issues in being energized in February with Eversource. We've had conversations with Eversource. They visited the site actually yesterday. Their meter, the guy that signs off on the meter at the switchboard, visited the site, had a couple notes for us, but nothing that we can't solve in the interim. Landscape, all the main structures have been installed, as we mentioned. Right now, we're just waiting for the surfacing, which will wait in the spring, when it's better weather. And then the finishes. We're continuing the finishes. Floors are going down, fixtures are going in right now. The only thing we're going to hold off on until the spring is going to be the gym. You have your wood paneling is on the stage as well as the athletic flooring, and we want to make sure that you're temperature controlled as well as cool temperatures outside, warmer temperatures outside, I should say. So other than that, it's full steam ahead, and just I'll show you on here. What I wanted to do is give you a couple snapshots of what it currently looks like in the building. This is your main entrance versus what the BIM model, which is what our coordinator puts together with all the MEPs at the beginning of the project. So it kind of gives you a snapshot of what it looks like today on the left and what it's going to look like in 6 months from now. So this is your main entrance. Your admin area is on the right-hand side here. And then as you're turning right, that's your main hallway going down to the vice principal, principal's office, nursing office. Another area I wanted to highlight was the gym. So I'll walk us over to the gym here. So as you can see right now, all the brick is in, windows are in, trusses are in and painted except for a couple here that will be tended to. Stage is in good order. These two openings that peer into the gym from the first floor as well as the second floor of the main entrance have been completed. Windows will be going in shortly. And then I'll give you a side-by-side of what it's supposed to look like in 6 months from now, which is more than achievable. So as you can see, almost 100% of the infrastructure is in place. All that's missing is the sleeves for the duct, but otherwise your electrical is in, your speakers are in, the fixtures will follow suit, but your sprinkler is in. I did mention that, but the building is 90% sprinkled as of right now. That last section, the admin section as well as the mechanical room is being done, and the cafeteria, which we're working out. We want to make sure that in these areas, and this is something we've been working close with Tecton on, in the gym as well as the caf, there's a lot of exposed areas where we have sprinkler as well as fixtures. We want to keep the piping hidden between the trusses and the steel. So we're working with Tecton to make sure that their design intent is being followed and there's no conduits hanging in the ceiling where they shouldn't be. We want to try to make sure everything's hidden and the concept is kept. I'll show you guys the CAF real quick as well, just to jump around, and then we'll go to a quick classroom. So here's your cafeteria. As I mentioned, all the lock deck is in. The lock deck is in the second floor as well as the cafeteria. Your trusses are in. Your kitchen servery area is set, and I'll just give you an overlay of what it should look like. Your stage is set up. All the framing for the stage is ready. Blocking is ready. We're really the millwork in the stage is gonna be the last area we do. We don't want to damage any of that millwork. Obviously, it's very fragile. Curtains will go in after that, but the main areas we're focusing on the cafeteria right now is finishing out the sprinkler, and we know where the duct goes. It's aligned. We just want to make sure that's set at the end as well. So, otherwise, electrical's going up as well. As you can see, there's these long runs of fixtures that'll be in the caf. These sections right here. So those are being put in right now. Conduit runs are being sent, but they'll start hanging these fixtures. There's 4 runs of 8 that go in each bay here between these trusses. The sprinkler's the red line right here, so they're hanging the sprinkler, but this is your cafeteria. Very good sized cafeteria, I might add. And then what I'll do is I'll show you some classrooms here. So this is D2. We have the electrician on the first floor of D installing fixtures, and we have the flooring contractor on the second floor of D putting down the flooring. Obviously they can't be in the same rooms. We don't want to impact each other, so we're spacing them out on that level right now, and then we'll flip them afterwards, after they're done in each section. This room right here, they're prepping it for the flooring, for your LVT tile that goes down in this room. All your millwork's in these classrooms. I should have mentioned that as well. Your millwork is 85% complete in all the classrooms. We've been monitoring the humidity as well as the daily temperatures on a daily basis. My team reads it, make sure we records it, and then the flooring contractor, millwork contractor, as well as the tiling contractor. They're all tracking it as well, so it's being recorded 3 different times. Millwork is in, as I mentioned. Grid is in. Speakers are in. All your speakers for the PA system are in. Right now it's just connecting. The duct is in. Right now it's connecting your chill beam system in a couple areas, but otherwise, progress is right where we want it to be. We have 6 months left to go, and we're anticipating being in the fixture phase shortly following permanent power, which is going to be in March and April. So very happy about that. And then one thing I did see that Ryan mentioned in the last meeting was the contingencies, and I know Dave touched on that as well. Both very healthy contingencies for 6 months left on the project. I think it's $1.5 million for the CM contingency to date. Yes, $1.517 million to date for the CM contingency. I believe the owner's contingency is right around the same, a little over $1.2 million. So that is something we're happy about. Plenty of contingency for the next 6 months. But that is the update on the Norton School. Any
One of the
questions?
things when I walked through the 2 buildings that I saw a big change in was the mechanical rooms.
Yes.
Can you address that for a second, the electrical and the?
Absolutely. So we poured all the pads, set all the equipment, and as of right now, all the overhead work is done. They're setting the all that equipment and tying it in. So I'll give this to the mechanical.
Yeah, over there. It's dark. No internal lights.
The lighting's not in there yet.
The lighting is definitely in. I don't know why this is going dark on me right now.
Shutter on this camera.
Yeah, right?
I think, did I send pictures out to people?
Yeah, you sent
Refresh this real
pictures.
quick.
I think, yeah, I sent pictures out to the committee of some of the mechanical rooms.
Just refreshing this. Because this will be the shot that I want right here. And this eventually turns on.
Okay.
But yes, so they are setting the equipment. Right now, all the equipment's on housekeeping pads. They're just tying it in. We anticipate that work being done the next couple weeks. So by February, of course.
That's all right, thank you.
I think it might be my...
Any other questions of either Dave or Colton? Saying none, we'll move on. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right. Justin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. So I'll go over the summary and the construction administration reports. We'll start at Barnum or North End Elementary School. For construction RFIs since our last meeting, or the last month, 17 new RFIs for a total of 215. 50 new submittals for a total of 1,051. Handful of PCOs. for a total of 32. There are a couple of PCOs that are up for review for both schools this evening. We'll be able to discuss those when we get to that portion of the agenda. You have application for payment, draw 17, for both schools for the month of December. We continue to hold our owners' OAC meetings on a bi-weekly basis. We also have OAC working meetings in the interim weeks, as well as PCO review meetings to basically go through, before they come to this committee, they're discussed between us, O&G, consultants, and if necessary, subcontractors. We did issue 4 bulletins in the last month for North End Elementary School. The first one, Bulletin 47, this is a similar bulletin that was issued for both schools. Now that the furniture has been ordered, the lockdown sequencing in the administrative wing with the administrative assistants, we needed to reconcile the lockdown functions with the furniture placement. It is going to involve a couple of added switches in that area. So that was a modification that we issued for both schools. So that will be a similar description when we get to Norton. Additionally, for North End, we issued some millwork clarifications that were a result of our shop drawing review. There are some deletions of surfaces in some areas, some adds in others. But since we marked up those in the submittal review process, we needed to formalize that in the actual bulletin. Couple of supplemental instructions that we issued, Bulletin 49 and ASI Architect Supplemental Instructions, was just clarifications on exact dimensions on a wall of where a stage, projector, and screen locations are, as well as for wall protection, just reconciling some of the colors with the paint colors that have been submitted for wall protection. So those are both supplemental instructions that we don't foresee any costs arising from them. For Norton Elementary School, construction RFIs, 19 new for a total of 226, 43 new submittals for a total of 829. Also 2 new PCOs for a total of 41 on the project. Same host of meetings that we're listing for coordination, and for bulletins that we issued a supplemental instruction for signage clarifications, as well as the proposal request for the access control revisions. The one other item I'll note for Norton, and this has been the subject of an RFI and our OAC meetings, we are going to be proposing some revisions for access to some isolation valves above the chair storage in the gymnasium. We have a double height space above the stage, and that double height space extends to our chair storage location as well as our gymnasium office. The facilities brought up a concern about access to both the isolation valves as well as correct me if I'm wrong, remind me the heat coils. So both of these are areas that are not intended to be annual maintenance, but need to have access to them in the event of work that is being done or a problem downstream of these units. Basically, from our physical plant, which is located over but adjacent to the kitchen, in order to get a lot of our piping up and over into the main parts of the building, we have to traverse the double height space. So we have a lot of infrastructure that is here. The intention the design intention was to use the lift that is being purchased through FF&E to access these locations. We also had provided acoustic ceilings in the storage space. That part of our proposal request is going to be to remove that and provide wall-mounted lights in that space rather than hung lights that you see over your head now. So we reviewed these modifications with Rich Clavette at our OAC meeting last week. I think we have a broad agreement on the direction to move forward, and I don't believe we've issued the bulletin yet.
Not
but
yet.
Okay.
No.
Are you
It's
putting a
coming.
platform up there?
We are going to provide access above the gymnasium office, accessible from the lift. So it's going to be simply a matter of, rather than extending the gym office wall all the way to deck, we're going to go up 12 feet and provide a horizontal surface with a surface for somebody to get onto that area. So it's still predominantly going to be accessible via lift, which will be able to get into the spaces in, and the lift will lift high enough to be able to access those locations. So that's just an item that we're continuing to coordinate and should have a better read on that at our next meeting.
Comments, questions?
What's the order of magnitude for that?
I don't know yet. I think we're removing some things in the ceiling. Obviously, putting in a horizontal platform is probably the added cost that's there. So I'll have a better idea.
It's just a platform though, it's not 125 pound storage.
Correct. And it's not, we're not putting a wall-mounted ladder on to access it. You'll need the lift to get to it, so.
Okay. Voters rep, budget update.
Okay.
So the budget is in good shape. The only thing that's changed month over month from last month is the encumbrance that we had for the furniture that was approved at the last meeting. Purchase order for about $1,100,000 for the north end, and slightly smaller than that on the Norton project. So on the encumbrances, you'll see in the blue column towards the right-hand side at the bottom, we have encumbered 84% of the overall project budget at this point. It ticked up by 1% with the FF&E purchase. So that's going to be your remaining major purchases from here on out. Is going to be the FF&E and technology. We have some items tonight that we're going to ask you for approval on, so that we can then get purchase orders on. But other than change orders that may arise between now and the end of the project, these are the last remaining large purchases for the project. And you could see the owner's contingency. We're keeping pace with that. No changes from the last period. The last change we had was on Norton, and that goes back to November when we encumbered, or when we transferred money from bid savings up to the FF&E line item. That was the last transfer that we made from the owner's contingency / bid savings.
We've separated out the owner contingency and bid savings.
We did.
Is that something that
I think we wanted to make that distinction because there was some significant bid savings, but it's the same thing. It's owner's contingency. Emily had indicated that it's just as easy to combine those two line items into one, and that way we're only tracking that one single line.
I don't know if the committee has any feeling about it, so.
And then you can see on the other page where I kind of summarized the contingencies. Dave and Colt both indicated what the GMP contingencies were, those are in the bottom block. The upper block, we're keeping track of, what's being spent on the owner's contingency and bid savings. We do have the large items that were approved that we still haven't gotten final numbers on, but those are coming, so we're tracking those, the $99,000 and $112,000 for the de-escalation rooms. And then, of course, the irrigation the underground preparation for that, $45,000. So overall, on Barnum, you'll see that what we have available this month is $12,446,308 in available funds that are not committed, they are not earmarked for any particular purchase. And then on Norton, we have $5,892,983.
Nice.
Yes. Solid. As we start to move through the last phases of the project, going back to the budget, you'll see that there are things that are encumbered at only 25% or 65% on legal services, bond counsel. We have things for other consultants and reviews, enrollment studies. We could start to zero those out, and we could start to drop those down into contingency too, but we're leaving those there for now. No reason to move them. If we were tighter on the contingency, I would say we probably want to start to squeeze as much as we can down into the owner's contingency, but
They're small amounts. Anyway.
They're small amounts and you're in good shape.
Comments, questions?
Is there a concern that, or a reason, I guess, that we're like 91% encumbered?
On one versus the other. Yeah. The reason for that is because Norton has, they have a demolition of the old school.
Okay, that's part of that's already in. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. I was thinking that was still yet to come.
That is in the construction GMP, so we're covered there. And I think we're covered with a worst case scenario on hazardous materials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. RFP for window performance testing services. Zach, do you
Zach?
have
So you guys should have received the electronic file. That's the entire ITB for the window performance testing. The specifications were pulled right from the specifications. So if you guys are happy with it and approve it to go out to bid, it'll be issued on Monday in all the different forms. Tuesday it'll go out in the newspaper, I believe Vin said. The due date will be, I think, the week before the next meeting. That'll give us time to review and make a recommendation. Review and make a recommendation to you as to which bidder we propose you accept. And this is for spraying the windows and making sure no water comes through. There are 6 locations selected at each building. O&G has held off on putting in the drywall returns, so we're getting close to them being ready to say, hey, we really want to close these up. So we're kind of right in a good time frame, but we want to get this out to bid.
any comments or questions?
Just a question.
Yep.
Was this excluded from the envelope testing?
Correct, yeah. And so SES does not perform window testing anymore, they used to. But it wasn't part of when we went out to, when we saw, because they're under our contract technically, SES, we didn't include that as a service for that scope.
So who's responsible when it fails, when the two meet?
I believe it's part of the specifications that identifies that it becomes the responsibility of the contractor if there are failures. I think that's in the specifications. I think there might be like up to 2 or something, and then it goes to the contractor. I'd have to review that.
Because that's usually
when
the failure happens.
One.
Do we need 2 separate motions, one for each building?
I don't know if you need a motion. This is only, this is actually going out for the service, so we're advertising it. You'll need
We don't have to approve the RFP.
No, we just wanted to make the committee aware of that we are going out for this service, and when we do receive when we receive the proposals back, we'll probably want to have a review of the committee, and then if it's just on price, we can basically, recommend who the low bid was.
I'm not looking to vote or anything on it, but I felt like everything we sent for RFP, we voted on this side.
You did vote on?
I thought so.
For RFPs that go out, Chuck?
Yeah, because even when I'm thinking back to like when we first sent out the RFP for the contractor, we had like back and forth forever of fixing up the document and going through and wordsmithing it, and then we voted that we were sending it out. I'm just matter of process.
But
that's
isn't
all.
that because we sent it as Cheshire, not as the owner?
Before we hired.
So I don't think there's a harm in making a motion. I will say that the contract or the ITB was pulled from a template that was given to me and given to us by the town, and then once
Like I said, I'm not trying to make like this vote on anything, but if we did for
Well,
others,
do you
I
wanna
just
make
felt
a
like.
motion to approve the RFP?
No, if we don't have to.
And it was gone through after I made the edits, it was gone through by Jeff D'Onofrio as well, and they made a whole bunch of comments.
Early on, yeah, we did go
incorporated.
through all the RFPs, but we were looking architects and, Jeff D'Onofrio
Yeah, I'm just
was
thinking like testing
was
services
giving
and
us stuff
everything.
at that time.
I don't think it
A
would.
lot of the others have gone under your contract, so we haven't dealt with any of them.
Some of them have, yeah, but for things like the structural peer review and the commissioning, we issued those RFPs. And they were outside our contract.
Come audit time, what they're really looking for is the other side of it, when we make the recommendation and how we vetted it through and that you guys approved that are being accepted.
Yeah, for audit purposes, what they're looking for is, was it publicly announced? And if it was, was it put in the paper, was it put on the town website and things like that, right? And then, when they were received, was it evaluated by the committee, and did the committee accept the conditions of the proposal, whether it was quality-based or if it was cost-based?
Which we had, when we did a lot of the early ones, we had a very extensive process that did both.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
again, that was supported through our attorney in terms of here's the process you need to follow. So, okay, we don't need to do any more. Invoice approvals.
Yes, so I the first one I passed around was the PCO, but I did, the second time around, I have all of the invoices, so we have the North End and the Norton invoices. There are quite a few of them.
Okay. So for Norton Elementary School, everybody knows, which is driving me crazy. Do we have a motion for invoice number 13229 for material testing services, Teston Incorporated, for $3,819?
So moved.
So moved. Second? Any discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor? I've got all the numbers already, if you just get down.
Who?
Well, maybe we can make it easy
I
if
think
these
my-
guys do it all too.
I think my colleagues over here.
The red might be Team Daddy Rio.
Invoice number 1210255 PLLC. Got that?
Nope.
No, we don't.
For other consultant services, Saks and Proto LLC, $2,712.
I think the number was read wrong. It's 5S.
Oh, it's 5S.
Well,
not
I
5.
definitely didn't have it then.
Oh, okay, 5S PLLC.
So moved.
So moved. Second? Yep. Discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Invoice 0054275, commissioning services, Mansell Engineers, $1,624.70.
So moved.
So moved, seconded, discussion?
You guys can list.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Invoice number 48733, architectural services, Tecton Architects, $32,858.38.
So moved.
So moved, seconded, discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Invoice number 360971181, Owners Representative Services, Arcadis, $21,304.27. So move motion, so moved, seconded, discussion? All those in favor? And lastly, invoice number 17, Construction Manager, O&G, $3,507,758.29.
So moved.
So moved, seconded. Any discussion?
Question.
Yep.
At this burn rate, it's gonna take you until August to finish.
The finishes will be a lot quicker. So right now we're showing 58% builds to date, but as the finishes go on and we have permanent power on the building and it's conditioned, those finishes will be completed a lot quicker. So that's not something we're concerned about. I know the burn rate shows that it'll take that long, but we're still on task for mid-July turnover, and even sooner actually for the school to actually start moving furniture in.
Okay.
The FF&E vendor, but
I'll buy that.
it's a good note.
Plus this includes demo and abatement as well, right, so that's a good percentage. of-
Correct, yep.
Of that burn rate.
Fair enough.
Okay. Over to,
Wait, we need a
We
vote.
still have the one.
oh, we didn't vote on that one, okay.
I only have Chris moves,
They
Dennis
don't
seconds.
care, it's only $3 million. Oh,
Mark
geez,
cares.
those big bucks. All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay. Barnum School, North End, invoice number 13206, Material Testing Services, Tescon Incorporated, $11,623.
I was ready.
Okay. Motion made.
Second.
Who seconded, Chris?
I'll second.
Oh, is he reversing on this
Now
one?
I gotta.
Okay. Yeah, they're reversed on this one. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous. Invoice number 12102-5S, PLLC, Other Consultant Services, Saks and Protel, LLC, $2,941.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you, unanimous. Invoice number 13246, Material Testing Services, Tescon Incorporated, $2,436.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous. Invoice 48732, Architectural Services, Tecton Architects, $39,633.26.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion?
Bill says 36 cents if it matters.
What's that?
The invoice says 36 cents if it matters.
The invoice says 36 cents, but the cover sheet says 26?
Yeah. 39, 633, 36.
Spot us the time, Justin?
Just
I think I actually have one.
Okay.
Do we want to change that then to 36?
Yes.
If that's with the invoice, I'm sure
Yeah.
they may have just made a
Yes.
mistake on the
Yeah.
cover sheet.
I think we can afford the 10
Yeah.
cents.
I
I'll
don't
amend the
know.
motion.
I don't know.
I'll amend the second. I'll third it.
Okay, so typo amended,
36 cents.
36.
Eagle eye over here.
I'd go through the invoices. It's easy to follow that.
There you go. Okay, it's been moved and seconded as amended. All those in favor? Unanimous. Invoice number 3609771, Owners Representative Services, Arcadis, $24,574.76.
So moved.
Seconded, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
sorry.
Unanimous. Invoice 26005, Other Consultant Services, MP Planning Group, $1,766.25.
So move.
Second.
Seconded. This is the last bill
This
for
is
that,
it.
correct?
I double checked, we fulfilled the
So
contract.
what option did you guys pick?
Seriously? Well, the option that upset a lot of people, but it was a hybrid. I think it was option 3. We just moved stuff around a little bit from Chapman to Highland.
So where the town is separated geometrically?
Not along the Route 10, if
Oh.
that's your question. No,
Yeah.
that's not,
That was
that was
just
not what was decided.
too beautiful.
Yeah.
But all the Chapman students aren't going to the new school, some are going to
Correct.
Highland. That was the big controversy.
Right, so on the northwest side, that currently go to Chapman, those are going to Highland. It was just a lot closer.
And there was an option for the parents.
And the parents were given a priority waiver from that section. And so far, about 40 parents said that they would rather have their child go to Barnum, and they will provide the transportation to Barnum for next year. So that's
I
what.
thought the
it
school
was.
system was providing it.
No,
Oh, okay.
the board decided not to do that, because we don't do that for any other parent in any other district. If the parent is approved to go to a different school outside of their district zone, parents provide transportation. So this is consistent with what the
Is
board
it
has done
spread
in the
through all the
past.
grades, or is it mostly the older kids?
It's available to all the grades, but most of the parents that have opted in seem to have children in 4, 5, or 6. How many actually do that for future years remains to be seen.
Probably.
Been moved and seconded, any other comments or questions?
Thanks, Ben.
Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous.
Well, not exactly, because one person stepped out, so I
Well, it's still unanimous, it's just she didn't vote. So it's,
One abstain or one
it's 7-0,
absent?
it's 7-0 instead of 8-0.
Did it?
When she comes back, we can get her to.
Yeah, I think it's an abstention.
Yeah, I think it's abstention. I mean, you took a roll, and by saying unanimous, it means everybody that attended voted.
People do come and go, so sometimes the numbers don't match the roll in the voting.
So should I say 7 for 1 abstention?
You can say one
So
abstention.
she didn't abstain,
Person's
she,
name.
yeah, not,
She didn't vote yes, yes.
stepped out.
Okay.
We'll see when she comes back.
Just say unanimous. No, that the vote, you can't, I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
you can have somebody
unanimous
vote
vote of those who
after.
are here. Invoice number 17, construction manager, O&G, $5,292,401.85.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous of those here and voting. Okay. Rich?
Okay, we have PCOs. And I'm gonna have Colton and Dave take us through, so, guys, we do have the forms, so whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first since I have the monitor currently right now. So first PCO I wanted to present from the Norton Projects, PCO 39, which is the skylight credit. We have the same roofer on both projects. Their skylight sizes did change between the two projects. They assumed they were the same size at both. In doing so, they gave the structural steel contractor the incorrect RO. They gave him the RO of the smaller skylight. So instead of ripping out all the structural steel, they offered to provide a credit. We went back to our estimating team. They confirmed this credit is fair and accurate at $9,320. This also includes the fee bond and insurance as well.
Megan, there was a discussion while you were out, there was 2 votes taken that you weren't there for.
Okay.
Would you like to be recorded as part of those?
Okay.
It's up to you. We can put down that you stepped out of the room, or we can.
You
so
can put
the-
down that I stepped out, that's fine.
Okay, all right, then we'll continue on. Go ahead.
So the skylight credit, it includes a balance of $9,050 with the fee bond insurance included, which makes it $9,320, going back to the owner's contingency.
Move to accept.
This This was reviewed by Chuck and Dennis and approved, or not approved, but recommended by you. So, this motion was from Dennis, seconded by Chuck.
Sorry, I gotta write that down.
Yep.
I was reading this bottom
It makes it
motion.
difficult when Ron's not here, I have to say. He was gonna try to get someone to cover, but obviously didn't. Any discussion on this?
Thank you.
Seeing none? All those in favor? It is unanimous. Go ahead.
Next PCO is PCO 30R2. This is for the overflow drain and check valve that was shown in bulletin 3. This added that drain and overflow, and I believe this was a lessons learned on a previous project. This is a $4,161 PCO that would be taken out of the CM contingency.
Is it 30R2 or R3?
30R2.
Says
Say R3?
There's two R3s on this.
Yeah.
There's an R3 on this one.
So this one is R2.
Yeah.
Okay. R2. Oops.
For how much?
No, the other one is 36R3, the one below it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So this is 30R2.
It's the first one on the list.
30R2, the overflow drain and check valve.
Yes.
Motion to,
Is it showing correctly on the cover sheet?
I'm saying the whole package that we got, it's R3, but it's the same value and the same
Okay.
item number and everything.
Just make sure. That could be a typo on my end.
motion to approve.
A second.
Moved and seconded.
And just quick thing, this is the same thing we had at the north end.
Yes, both of these, yes.
This is just the north version of it.
Any
And Chuck, you were
discussion?
correct, it's R2.
All those in favor? Approved. And the third one?
Last but not least is the sprinkler custom cover plate change. This is PCO 36R3. There was in bulletin 9 a paint colors issued to try to hide the custom color plates for the sprinklers, more in the walls and the soffits, have them kind of hidden in there. This cost is $1,806 from the sprinkler contractor. You had to get four different setups from the Victaulic, which is the manufacturer of those cover plates for these colors, and this would be coming out of the CM contingency.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, second? Chuck?
Yeah, we did that at the other school as well.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay. Arno.
Back up in there. Alright, there we go. I guess starting with PCO 32, it is for $13,469. In short order, we had to add in a pressure reducing valve on the water main into the building. When we tapped into Regional Water's main out on Marion Drive, brought it down, the water pressure came in at 110 psi instead of the maximum allowable of 80 psi. Working with the design team, so we had to install pressure reducing valves. It is coming out of the owner contingency, and it includes the insurance bonds and CM fee.
We had to do the same pressure reducing valve at Norton as well, I believe at the either last month or the month before.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Dennis?
Second.
Second, Chuck?
Must be a lot of sprinklers that are run in Cheshire when backflow tests are
I
originally
live in
done.
Cheshire, and we do have tremendous water pressure. I have to say. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous? Okay.
Moving forward, PCO 33, during the submittal process for the equipment in the cafeteria and the kitchen, it was noted to change the trough for one of the soup kettles from a standard grading system to ADA requirement.
the total value of the change order is $267. It includes the CM fees and bonds, and it is being funded from the owner's contingency.
Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
You smile every time.
I was
we get to
laughing
this
because it
one.
says floor through.
Oh, what does it say? What did
Just on the cover sheet, it's just trough is misspelled.
Okay. Discussion?
Not this.
All those in favor?
One comment
Huh?
would be the same that I made on Tuesday. Really? But that's just me.
All right, this one's a fun one.
Yes, not last but not least.
Oh, yeah, we didn't
Oh.
we didn't
You just
vote on
did vote.
anything.
I think you were talking, but.
Yeah.
Oh,
All those in favor? Okay.
so it is unanimous.
Unanimous, yeah, of course.
I already had that written down, but wanted to be sure.
Alright, so we're 2 for 2. Let's see if we can make it. PCO 36. In short order, I know there's been a lot of conversations about this. This is regarding the MC versus conduit for the electrical on the second floor of Barnum Elementary. Working with the contractor, we've established an $80,000 credit from the contractor, plus a credit on our fees and services and bonds, totaling a little over $82,000. And on top of which, the contractor will be installing 1-inch conduit throughout the second floor, providing boxes in each classroom for future use for bringing in additional power if it's ever needed. This has been thoroughly vetted, thoroughly discussed, and we feel this is a great outcome for all parties involved.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Just so you're aware, we did have a fairly lengthy meeting the other day. Dennis and Chuck were part of that, and I thank them very much as part of their overseeing our change order process. And Chris has taken a real leadership role in looking at this whole issue with his background. He was the one who brought it to people's attention. I guess they were aware of it already, but he noticed it during our visitation. So there's been a lot of discussion. Ryan walked us through the numbers the other day and showed the amount that the actual work saved, and then additional amounts that the contractor was throwing in there, so that we were willing to understand that this was something that technically should not have happened. However, we will make it work. Other conversation, discussion?
I have a
Yeah,
question.
Chris.
I'll be brief, I promise. I had a question about the data closet, and conduits run to that, and I just want to have a clarification. So just for people who don't speak the language, I'm going to use the term IDF and I'm going to use the term MDF. I want to know which type of closet this is. An MDF is the main facility where everything comes into a building. It's your main data facility, and it feeds the other closets, which are intermediate data facilities, or IDFs. So the parent and then the children. And my question is, I know there's a data closet that is affected by this, and Justin, do you know, is it an MDF, which I thought people said, or is it just an IDF?
I think it's the IDF that this is affected, because these are the ones that are in, on the second floor. The MDF is located.
And that's what I
near the-
thought, but I thought I heard MDF, and I just want to clarify. So what I would like to ask David, my feeling is that, first of all, none of us knows the future, but we're trying to future-proof and plan for that. I think that we should treat a data facility as something that's more important and requires more attention than just a classroom. I've said that all along. Right now, it's just getting one conduit. If it were an MDF, I would ask for 2 more. Being just an IDF, I would ask, can we just give it one more of those 1-inch conduits so that we have just an extra level of the future proofing. Does that really change anything, or is that something that we can do? I know it was mentioned on the call as maybe a possibility when Ryan was talking, and
Yeah, we can.
I think everybody would be happy with that. Vin, I think that, right, I don't think there's a need for any more than that.
I don't think so.
You know,
And, as, you know, the only caveat is as long as it doesn't cause delay or other issues. I mean, if adding another conduit, it can't hurt us, as long as there's no other ramification.
That's, if it's an IDF, we'll have them put in one additional 1-inch. If it's an MDF, we'll have them put in 2 additional, so there'll be a total of 3.
And that's what I would ask, and that's all work being planned to be done. I'm sure some of it's ongoing, so I don't anticipate it causing delays. David, do you see this as changing anything as far as timeline and delays?
Not at this point, no.
So I would be happy with that. Does anybody have any other discussions or concerns with that modification
No?
to the motion?
And the reason that we're doing this is to not have delays. If we made them rip everything out and redo it, we would have had some other issues.
I think that everybody would, I would be happy with the compromises that we're making on this and meeting the design intent.
Are you willing to add that to your motion, that we accept this with the addition of an additional conduit for an IDF?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one conduit to the IDF with
Second.
or 2 for
Right,
IDF.
so we have a amended motion and an amended second. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Very good, thank you. All right.
Mr. Chairman, before we move on to the last item,
Yeah.
Emily did include a package that she would like to have action taken on tonight, which is the purchase orders
Right.
for the FF&E and technology. And I think we have to act on each one of these separately because they're all different vendors.
Everyone have blue?
All right, so looking at Norton.
How the payments coming from the state?
Oh, would you, shall I?
Oh, we can talk later.
Okay, all right.
After we do this.
Yeah.
So for Norton School, there's 2 different purchase orders here, is that what we're voting on?
Actually, there are many individual purchase orders that were lumped in as furniture, and then there's equipment purchases. So if you want, I can.
Do we have to vote on each one separately, or?
Yes, because they're all gonna be separate purchase orders
Okay,
to each individual vendor.
all right. Then looking at Norton, we have,
I think what we can do is we can go through who the vendor is and what the amount requested is. And I think that should be enough to be recorded.
so in Sokol Corporation, $123,212.22. So we have a motion?
Second.
It's Team Daddy Real Estate.
Okay.
What's the yes, no?
Oh, sorry, I'm typing on Chinese.
So, there are some eligibility issues. Most of them is eligible, but there are a few things that are not. That's why it's a yes and a no.
So trombones are okay, but accordions are not?
Yeah.
It's actually, I believe this is some of the portable risers, which are.
Yeah, I was surprised when we were talking with the furniture group that there were some things that to me seemed normal purchases for a school, but they were not acceptable for reimbursement. We have a motion, we have a second, other discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Lakeshore Learning Materials, $71,100.85.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. To Virco, $353.72.
Moved.
Second.
So moved and seconded, discussion? All those in favor? Okay, approved. To WB Mason, $770.
Now 717.
$717, yes.
So
Motion,
moved. Oh, sorry.
Second.
motion made and seconded. This one also has a yes, no on there, is it?
There's an item that's ineligible. I don't, Justin might be able to.
I forget what from WB Mason, but it's a weird one.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not a weird
it's
piece of
only
furniture.
$717, so it's gotta be something pretty small.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a trash receptacle.
There you go.
What is it?
Trash
receptacle.
All right, okay.
And it looks like it's some of the bigger ones for like the cafeteria and or the janitorial closets that they move around.
All right, all those in favor?
Not eligible.
I say we eliminate trash cans at the school. Okay, moving down, technology smart boards, RNB Enterprises, $286,101.90. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
So
Second.
moved. Seconded. Discussion? These are all the smart boards that are going on.
70.
70 of them? And that's all the bounce and
It's
everything else?
it's the balance box, adjustable balance box that's mounted to the wall, smart board that's mounted to the balance box, and then all of the connections from the smart board to the wall, and then the connections from the teacher station to the computer.
That's a good price.
Okay, all those in favor? Unanimous. All right, moving over to North End. It's gonna be fun doing these minutes, I'll tell you. Okay, this first one, Correctional Enterprises of Connecticut, $146,227.20. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And seconded.
Does anybody want
Do you wanna know what that is?
So these are the custom-built, modular pieces of activity furniture that are currently exist at the Darcy School. And they're for the pre-kindergarten program. They're part of the curriculum. They move, the modular component allows the students to kind of create their own spaces and also separate some of their activities from the others.
And the original ones were built at the correctional center.
Yes, yeah, they have a whole
So we
template.
went back there and said, can you do it again? We had a motion and a second?
We did.
We did, okay. All those in favor? Thank you. Insulco Corporation, $123,212.22.
So
Do we
moved.
have a
Second.
motion? And a second? Discussion? Good punch work here. All those in favor? Unanimous. Lakeshore Learning Materials LLC, $80,213.23.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous. Verco, $353.72.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Eric wrote it down.
Well, we're having fun here, aren't we?
I was gonna flip flop
Discussion?
like you did, so.
All
This
those
is
in
chairs,
favor?
like, what are these? Why is it so low for chairs?
Oh, yeah, big one chair.
Is it odd chair?
I think it is an odd chair.
Bargain.
I'll get the answer to that, Chuck.
$1 each.
You
For
wanna
the
hold
rest of
off
our
on,
lives.
you wanna hold off on the vote, or you?
No,
ready?
I'm just
Oh,
curious.
You can see the photos of it in the backup.
Yeah, it's right
They,
here.
they look like
These
normal
ones?
normal armchairs, but I don't know
Sorry,
where they
let
are.
me make it bigger.
How many is it?
2. They're plastic seat with, sorry.
Yeah.
Is it for a special program?
I think so, but
Either that or maybe like the nurses.
All those in favor? Unanimous. There's a book out called Parkinson's Law. And Parkinson was this military man, he did a study. And he said, you know, the typical $2-3 million item will take 4 minutes of discussion. But if you get into a $55, you know, reimbursement for coffee, they'll spend an hour and a half on it. People can understand that amount.
Yeah.
So we would focus it on the two chairs. Anyway, WB Mason, $15,092.
So moved.
So moved, seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay. Is that it from your end, Rich?
No, we have R&B Enterprises.
Smart board.
Smart board.
board.
71.
Oh, well, the heck with them. All right, Smart Boards, RNB Enterprises, $290,189.07.
So moved.
Motion?
Second.
Seconded. Discussion? All those in favor?
What
Now,
do we
Rich, we're
have
all
left
set?
to buy?
Wireless access points, network infrastructure, and a few telephones, and a few bid items that are part of that.
So we're doing good budget-wise?
Yes.
Okay, anything else? All right, then if I can get a motion?
Dennis, well,
Oh, I'm sorry, go
I
ahead.
have a quick question.
yeah. So Dennis asked how we were doing on reimbursement. So we did receive the first reimbursement, which allowed us to then put in our second reimbursement on November 3rd. We put it in November 3rd. We expected to get payment by the end of last year. The state approved, I can't remember which one, let's say they approved Norton on December 3rd for payment, right? And we still haven't seen that payment yet. Vin's office has gone back to them to say, hey, can you give us an idea of where we are in status? The other one, Barnum, took a little longer, so that didn't get approved until the end of December, right before the holidays. So I think that was December 23rd. So that's about 2 or 3 weeks lag time. We were doing things in tandem. Now, once we get the payment for one, so we're thinking that Norton's probably going to come in first. We can then put in a request number 3 for Norton, but then we'll have to wait until we get Barnum before we can put that request in. So we're still waiting for the second.
Is this causing any issues at your end, Sean? No, we're okay?
Yeah.
We meet with Jim
Hang in there.
once a month now, and he's aware of everything, so he knows.
First one was the work. It was a long time for the first one. So.
Yeah, he knows what we know, and we're working with Vin and Jeff's office. We're pushing as much as we can to try to get payments.
Okay. So I know he had expressed some concern about cash flow
Yeah.
a while back. Can I get a vote upon 2/3 vote convene an executive session for the purpose of discussing pending claims and potential pending litigation to include the following individuals: all members of the Next Generation School Building Committee, Vin Massiano, Cheshire School COO, representatives from Arcadis. Andrew Markelli is not here. Can I get a motion for that?
Motion.
Dennis, second?
Second.
All those in favor? And it's unanimous. All right, thank you.